Hey, what's up? What's up? So, welcome back to the Movement 254. And this particular weekend, I got to visit HMP Lounge in Westlands Business Park. And I was there to attend a small screening of like four movies. They are like an anthology of four films that were created in Kenya. And these movies were, I think the theme was Halloween, but the movies that I saw were not actually Halloween. So what you can actually see here is, what I'm currently showing you is the HMP Lounge, which is in Westlands. This is Westlands Business Park. It's all on like the 8th floor. It's on the top floor. And it's actually a very beautiful place. It's a nice, cozy place that is actually very comfortable. So I came here to watch four movies. It's an anthology. One is called The 87th Victim. The other one is called The Collector. The other one is called Somewhere to Stay. And the other one is called When It Rains. This is coming from MymoviesAfrica or Yakweto. So this is just interviews. Try to just listen and get to learn more about the creative industry in Kenya.
The Victim is my first, I can say, solo project. And it has won some awards. It has been mentioned in international festivals. So what inspired it?
What inspired it, yes. Did you write it as well?
Yes, I did. I wrote it. And the thing is, we have so many expectations people put around and put up for us. And we're always like, what if this happened? So the guy, James, people are always teasing him about how he doesn't have girls around him, how he's always missing opportunities to get ladies and all that. And so he has created this lady, and it's more or less a reality to him. It's not a dream actually, it's a reality to him, but to everyone else, it's a fantasy. And that's why when he goes to open the door, when the last scene, he sees the lady again, because she's back, because it's just a creation of his mind. It's not what's actually happening. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Dantez, and congratulations. Vaishali, welcome.
Hi.
Nice to see you again after so many years.
Yes.
Yes. This obviously wasn't your first film, so tell us a little bit about what you've done on film and TV, and how long you've been acting for, and what this role is like for you.
I would say I'm still a very young actor or actress in the industry, because I've been a high school teacher for 11 years before this came to me. I'd never acted in high school, but the same God always writes your plans before you know it. So this came by flukes, and so I started with a show called Vershita on DSTV Measure Magic East, which became the #1 show, which was amazing. And from that, I got a short movie for Machakos Fest 2019 winners called Love Daggers, which is on YouTube. And thank you. I think that's better.
Yeah.
And then I did was part of another small series called Machuto with King Kaka, and done another short movie that got a few awards in the European festivals called Gigi. It's now come out on Showmax, the series. And this one I did last year. Again, it was the director was working with me on Vershita, and he told me, what if one day I do a movie or a project, will you be part of it? And I promised him that yes, I would. And he said I would be a first-time director, and I said that does not matter. I think it's you trying, and the success will follow if you believe in your work. And honestly, it has come through, and I know it's getting an award in South Africa this year. So God is good, and I keep getting blessed with projects. So yes.
Thank you. Yes, a round of applause. Let's appreciate our own content. And who's the director?
Ronald Owen. An amazing person at heart, very soft. The first time working with him, obviously I worked with him on different areas for Rashita, but here he was the director, and it was his first time. But honestly, he gave the artist, George Moore, who's a brilliant actor. I was a bit nervous working against him because it was like, oh my God, he's on set, you know, because he's very big already. He has a name, he's been in the industry for years. And for me, I'm now getting my steps in the industry. So the director actually gave us that freedom. Once he gave us the script, we went through it together, and then it was like, we just let it flow and just let things, how would you feel with an intruder in your house who's threatening to stay when he's not welcome. And he was a brilliant actor, so it was like a great support system. And with Ronald, he was just open with us to do, as much as he was directing what he kind of wanted in it, he gave us the liberty as artists to bring out ourselves in the picture. And I think that's why for me, even while shooting this, I could feel the chills, you know, of that person. And because he's a strong man, it actually felt real. And the whole knife scene actually felt like, oh my God, I've killed someone. You know, so I think the whole story was very real to me. And the hardest part in the film was dragging him on the floor. It felt like a million idiots trying to drag him, and because he was like a dead man. Oh my God, and he's so big and buff. So I was just like, oh my back, you know, and it was a long corridor. So it was quite an experience, because we see it in movies, you know, that people drag people so easily.
Yeah.
And then when I tried to do it, it was like, it's not that easy trying to drag someone. So yeah, the experience was amazing. I think as a director, he gave us the liberty to be ourselves and bring out our part as artists. And I think every director should give the artist a bit of that leverage, you know, rather than telling them exactly what to do. So I think it then turns out a bit natural, and I think it wasn't it?
Yeah.
What do you think, guys? Was it believable? Definitely.
Oh, great, thank you.
I could have sworn you killed that guy.
Don't worry, I won't kill anyone, and I don't do that in reality.
We hope not.
You know, with Rashita's character as well, people, whenever they see me, they think I'm a nasty old woman, and then they go, oh, you can laugh, you smile.
Have you been typecast now?
Yeah, you know what
okay.
I mean. But this was my first thriller, so I really enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vaishali, and thank you for coming. Kelvin, welcome.
Thank you so much.
So Kelvin was the writer and director of When It Rains. How many films have you done, Kelvin, and what was this film number?
First, thank you so much, and thank you to the audience.
Yeah.
My name is Calvin Oyula, writer, director, and producer of the film When It Rains. I'm also a young CEO of a young production called Art 224 Production. Art for artistic to mean art today, tomorrow, and forever. Yeah, art today, tomorrow, and forever production. So basically, we are around 2 to 3 years in the production. I've done several films. This year I've done like 9 short films. I tend to do at least a film a month.
A round of applause for it. And Kelvin, how young is young? That was actually my next question.
Yes, thank you so much. So this year I've done around 9 films. Most of the films they've quite proved to be at least quite a motivation, including the current win of My Kenya, My Story 7th edition with my film, a smartphone film called What If.
Came #1, right?
Yeah, thank you.
So My Kenya, My Story is a smartphone film competition with Kenya Film Commission, and they came #1 a few, when was that? In May, I think. Yeah, congratulations, Kelvin. How old are you, Kelvin?
Calvin Oyula is 22 years of age.
Wow.
Very well done. Kelvin had a lot of potential in this industry. All right, I'm not going to hog all the questions. I'm sure the audience has some questions. I have a few more, but let's pass the mic around. If you don't mind standing up and tell.
So actually I have a question on the first movie. Maybe I just drop it somehow, but please tell me, why is it the 87th victim?
It was supposed to be a random number. But again, according to what the lady is writing, this is her 87th victim, the 87th person she's infected.
I also have a question to you. Actually, it's a question about the law, because like, I don't know, in states, for example, like you're allowed to kill if someone just comes to your house, you know? So, how is it here?
Over here, I don't think you're really allowed to kill anyone here. And that's why I think the panic that I realized once I stabbed him, that I'm now going in jail. And just the fact that someone broke in, the whole trauma of it, and then me putting a knife in him, I knew what's happening next. You know, it's like my whole life is now gone into shambles. But I think there might be a twist. That's why I don't want to answer this question completely, because we're trying to produce, hopefully, the full film, just looking for funding. So there might be twists and turns. So I wouldn't want to answer the question completely, but yes, it's not really allowed here for you to kill anyone. And I think, of course, you all know that, yes, you need to go behind the bars if you do. So, yes.
Okay, and my third question is actually to you, right, about your movie. So I'm not sure if I got it right, but like the relationship between the guys was like the same guy with different characters. Like, what was it like at the end?
Okay, thank you so much. What I was trying to communicate in the film When It Rains, as it says, the Dutch, when it rains, it pours. It was more of a mental health kind of film, but where you tend to reach a point, an optimum point where you fight your inner self. It was more of us trying to fight and consult with his inner self, trying to get rid of his own mistake, trying to blame someone else, yet at the end is him himself is the perpetrator, the cause and the doer of every event that followed in his life.
That's smart.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Yes. So for those who don't know, in Kenya, well, actually not even Kenya, internationally, short films are often used as pilots, as proof of concept for a feature film. So maybe we can talk a little bit more about that.
Hi everyone, my name is Hope. So I have two questions for Dantez. Actually, my first question was the significance of the number 87, because I was like, is it random, or because many people would expect it to be like a 0 or a 5, so maybe 87 was deliberate. But yeah, thanks for that clarification. My question is, it might be a bit obvious, but for my own understanding, so how does James have AIDS, and if so, how did he contract it?
Actually, James doesn't have AIDS. It's just a fear in his mind. Yeah.
Yeah, so a sort of follow-up question. So you mentioned that he seems to be having this fantasy about women and this particular woman. So is he in like a perpetual dream, given that he sees the woman a second time, or is that now reality?
It's actually a dream, a perpetual dream, a fantasy, all true.
Well, thanks very much. Hopefully that would be something that would be accelerated into a film. I think that would be interesting to watch if possible.
Yeah, sure. Funds. You heard what you mentioned? Funds.
So you can start your crowdfunding today. Yeah, I think you already have some investors in the room. Yeah.
I'm doing a crowdfunding. Yeah, but not
Tell
this.
us about it. As people get ready, the next question. Go ahead.
So maybe a little more about myself. I've been in the industry for 19 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are the guys behind most of the shows you're watching on Netflix and Showmax. And
MymoviesAfrica.
MymoviesAfrica.
Plug.
I've been a producer on Netflix. I've been a producer on Showmax, a first AD, and a casting director. And I believe it has reached a point, they are limiting our creative control. When we're doing casting, as a casting director, I have to send several options to the client. The client will choose the person they want to work with, not the person I, as a casting director, will recommend. They'll come, you'll give them the script, they'll want to take the script and turn it into their own, forgetting why you wrote the script. So I've decided to try and do crowdfunding. I want whereby we have, as the people who will work on the film, will have full control, full creative control, not limited by the client or anything. Yeah.
Excellent, well done. Round of applause for that. Any other questions from the audience? Yes.
To the first question, the similarity in the set for When It Rains and 87 Victim. Actually, just to make it clear, before doing When It Rains, I was at that verge or the point of giving up into the field of filmmaking. It was kind more of, this is the last kick of a dying horse. I was still as young as I was, and luckily enough, I saw a film call, a synopsis film call by the production that Dantez works with, which was calling for a short film synopsis for young filmmakers to submit their short films, and those who will be selected will get access to use their set and their tools. And since I was more on that verge of giving up, I was like, wow, there's an opportunity for me at least to try to jumpstart again. And yes, I applied, and luckily enough, thanks to the team, my film was, my synopsis was selected, and that's how we got to do a film inside their studio.
Excellent. Dantez, can you tell us more about that program? And it's a very good point, but I don't think they ever expected their film to end up in an anthology on the same night. You know, it's really an interesting coincidence, but it's a great question. And it's also leading to what Dantez is working on, which I think is a great project. Go ahead.
So yeah, as I mentioned, we never expected it to be on the same screen. For me, what I was doing, it was just proof of work. Because most of the time you'll be asked, what have you done? So when I'm giving out my CV, it's quite big, but I've been working for other people. So what I was doing it for myself. And I work with a certain lady, she's called Jennifer Gatero.
Yes.
I'm officially, but we're looking for a producer, it's too much work. I'm her producer, assistant director, casting director. So yeah, I have access to the studio, the equipment and everything. And so what we've been doing, every year we try and give the studio and equipment to young talented people for free. So we just post it on Facebook. We ask people to send their synopsises, and then we check them, whichever one's fit. We call the guys and tell them, hey, you guys can come shoot. And that's how I ended up working with him. Yeah.
What's the name of Jennifer's production company, and what one or two films that people would know from her? Or from you guys, obviously.
Okay, so we've done, there's A Better Life, it's on Showmax. There's An Instant Dad, it's on Netflix. If we have old people here, you remember Better Days, Changing Times? Yeah, that production house. It's called Avant Films.
Yeah.
The last project we've done, actually, it was about a week ago. We were doing a project with Docubox, a short film. Yeah, so Avant Films. And I have to say, in her absence, I really appreciate Jennifer because she supports us. I have my production, it's called Lance Production. Whatever I need, she gives it to me for free. And she's opened doors for other people. So our main goal is to try and nurture talent. Because the problem with Kenya is we're stuck with the same faces every day. So we try and get new faces all the time. So that's what we're working on, getting people out there, new talent.
I think for your two films, there was a lot of new faces as well, which was good to see. Yeah, excellent. Vaishali, you had a question about candles.
Yes.
Was there a blackout? Was Kenya Power doing that?
There was actually. There was, and that's why we were trying to even show that when women or people or elderly live on their own, and people know when it rains and there's no lights, then people do take advantage, especially when they know there are women in the house. And I used to live alone. So that there was that concept of there were no lights, and that's why a stranger was easily able to access my front door without me noticing, because there was a lot of thunder and stuff, and it was darkness. And that's why, as much as there were candles outside in my doorway, there were candles inside, because I held one as I went to the back side when I saw him later. So yeah, I think the whole point was, the portrayal of there were no lights, and that's why I was more vulnerable to being in the darkness. But I wish I had even told him that maybe we should have put a concept, maybe Indian, that it was part of Diwali. But yeah, we could add that in the main thing. But yeah, the whole thing was how women or people, the elderly or women or children, were left home alone, and when these things happen, they're more vulnerable to people breaking in or people taking advantage of the situation outside.
So as you can see, there's a lot of also underlying messages in these films as well. So it's using entertainment to raise awareness on certain issues as well, which is very important, the power of film and storytelling. Any other questions from the audience? Yes?
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, good.
I'm great too. Well, mine is not a question, but maybe to commend you people for what you're doing, especially addressing mental health issues. And just a recommendation, if next time we can have, after maybe the movie, we can have discussions around mental health and maybe what we could include in such films, so that as much as we are filming, we can also add to our knowledge on how to deal with ourselves. As we are always the causes, we are always the one who cause our problems. We are always the one who are the doers, and still we are still the ones who play the victims, you know. So I wish we can have maybe a forum after such a thing. We can discuss about such things. But besides that, congratulations.
And Faith, right? Yeah, thank you for coming, Faith. So, Faith, also on our site, if you go through the genres, we have movies for mental health awareness. We have, I think, 10, maybe nearly a dozen, yeah. But I think we'll take that up. September is our content assistant over there, so maybe we'll take that up September for May next year, Mental Health Awareness Month. Yeah. We've actually had screenings, I'll talk about it a little bit later, but we've actually do make our movies available for other forums. There was a screening in May by an NGO that deals with mental health, and they licensed one of our films, and they had a whole conversation with a room full of HCPs that deal with mental health professionals, essentially. So that's also another way where film can be used to talk about these issues. Thank you for the question. Any other questions from the audience? Yes.
My name is Morjaria. First of all, kudos to you guys. The films are fantastic. I really enjoy them. And I think from my view, it's fantastic to see that the Kenyan film is actually beautiful. And I don't think you call yourself like a budding actress. And I think Rashida was so big. I think everyone here, everyone knows you, so fantastic job to all of you. My question is around marketing. How, as a producer, as a director, whatever you do, how do you ensure that our films, our Kenyan films, are getting to Kenyans? Because I know so many people don't necessarily interact with a lot of Kenyan films unless you push it to them. You ensure that you know people get to know that they're Kenyan films, and I like the platform Africa because it's something that brings together movies like this that majority of Kenyans don't even know exist. Yeah. So what do you do? Or rather, I know maybe it's out of your field, but what do you think should be done as marketing for Kenyan films?
Very good question. Very good question, literally.
To answer you, basically, with the system we have in Kenya, the funding is so pathetic. So you find people have money for pre-production, production, and even struggle a bit when it comes to post-production. And now when it comes to marketing and distribution, you don't even have the money to do it. This is why we're very grateful to Yakwetu, because now this is a platform that is giving us the voice, whereby even if you don't have the money to do the marketing, at least they're trying to put it out there. Now, the fact that you're here today means you'll be intrigued to go to the site. You'll see something you like, you'll recommend it to someone. I think for now, maybe word of mouth, but with time, I'm sure my movies will be big. People won't need an introduction to it. Yeah.
Thank you. Just to add on that from a technicality, once you do go to any film on our platform, there's a very convenient share button. You can share WhatsApp to friends and family, and then they'll just transact and join us as well. I'll go ahead, Calvin.
Thank you again. Still on the point of the marketing as producers. First, what I do, it's hard for me to shoot or produce a film without an end goal. So one of the things that I do, I really try to look at the end goal of the film, which is what I've been trying to do. Like, for example, this year I've had around 5 short films. This year I've had around 4 premieres. So I try, if I'm looking at the end goal is premiere, now I tend to try to involve a lot of cast and crew, or try to make an awareness before doing the film to get much more into that. What I feel should be recommended more, I still do feel the need and the urge to pass more education to we producers and even to other more producers, exactly on the ways of the distribution. I still feel there is kind of clear lack of knowledge or path, especially in the distribution platform for movies, because for me what I feel in the Kenyan industry, cinemas and platforms like Netflix and Showmax are a bit too much crowded, yet we all fight for the same space, because you can have a month where in a certain weekend you have like 3 different films being screened, so it becomes a difficult choice for an audience to select which film am I going to watch. So I really feel in the more need of the knowledge to expand the distribution platform so that we don't really crowd on one particular market. Thank you.
Thank you. And just as an industry standard, for those who are interested, normally your marketing budget should be 50% of your production budget. So if your production costs you 1 million shillings, 500,000 shillings should go to marketing. Unfortunately, in Kenya, you end up with, as Dantez says, you end up with 0. Or you end up with a premiere and then it ends at the premiere, and that's it. And a premiere is a marketing exercise. It shouldn't end. That's the beginning of the marketing campaign. Yeah. Great. Any other questions? Anyone? Yes.
There was a script, of course, so that we knew which part we were playing and what the storyline was, the synopsis of the story. But I think as an actor, as much as you're given a script, like even for Vaishita was fully scripted, heavily scripted. Whereas when I do, Uyoja Makamani, it's all impromptu. There are no scripts for that one. You just go, they give you a storyline and you go with the flow. Whereas Vaishita was fully scripted, but because of my character, I was able to twist and turn a little bit because of the whole Indian connotation to it and my character, the way I'm so loony in that one. And even with this character, the director knew what he wanted out of me, and he did tell us, and there was a script. So once you read it, I think the most important part that I think for me as a non-actor, because that's not my background, once I read the script, I have to feel the character to do the film. You know, I have to feel like I can feel that person. And that's why even Mrs. Butt, who was a psycho, I didn't want to feel her character, but at some point you need to become her to play her, you know? So just like that, like when he wanted me to be that victim by this man who's stronger, bigger, obviously ethnically, like he's a bit scary, you know? So I knew what he wanted and he was there. If we didn't get it right, he would say like, okay, I want you to feel a little more intimidated or, you know, while dragging him, you know, even if it wasn't that easy for me. I was literally struggling with that scene. He told me like, just struggle, but just be yourself. You know, don't feel that you need to be, show that you're stronger or you can't do it or you're too scared to do it. You know, just be yourself, but the directions were there, the script was there. So I think as an actor, like, okay, what I have learned in these 3 years of being in the industry is that just be yourself, but you need to embrace the character with the script. Because I feel that if you just read the script, you might have noticed in so many films, the character, you don't connect to the character. They seem fake, the acting seems, you can know that they're acting, you know? So I think that was my advice, that the lessons I learned from Rashida and then the ones I implied in the movie and the one the director was able to guide, that just understand the script in your perspective, but there are obviously things that I would need and the script is there to guide you in terms of wordings, in terms of what you need to feel. So yeah, I think it does help to have both impromptu-ness, because there were some parts where you need to act from your gut. You know, I would say that. I don't know if people understand what I say. It just needs to just come out, the spur for the moment. Like the actor, I actually told him, because I knew I can't act panicked or like, I can't be acting like I've been hit on the wall, but I've not really been pushed towards the wall. And so I told him, just do it. So he literally pushed me against the wall, and that now came across like I was literally hit by that impact of the wall, and that's how it came out. So I think, I think the script helps. Of course, the director helps to see whether how far you can come. And in some parts, the director might want a different kind of approach. Like I've done a movie just the other day, where he told me he wanted 3 emotions from me. A very subtle one, a sarcastic one, and a bored one. Because he knew that, okay, when it comes together, he might choose one of them, but he needed to cover base and see the expressions that's the most to the script and what he really wanted. So sometimes directors do that as well, to get you to get to the right emotion, the right concept of the script. But there's always a script. And of course his directions. So yeah, and I guess the rest is to the psycho person who does the rest.
Also to the challenges of that question. Our some memories here. Challenges, we are faced a lot of challenges in producing films. One of the main key challenge is the production cost. But sometimes the doors that you can't keep on knocking, they may not knock. So how do I try to evoke these challenges? I try, especially in projects that I'm a writer or maybe director or maybe a producer, I tend to make this project as wholesome as possible. When it comes to script, I will prefer to script with a sound engineer, with the DOP, with the cinematographer, with the cast, to try to involve everyone so that they feel 100% and parcel of this project. So I tend to make it less more personal but more of communal, so that I can get 100% commitment to a particular script that I do. Rarely I can shoot a script without involving these people to get their thoughts, so that they can also see their field, how well are they going to benefit from this project. I tend to make each and everyone use their creative space much more as free as possible. In projects that I'm a director, I rarely become the overall creative figure. I always tend to work closely with this crew so that I can try to fight these challenges of the production. So that now it's like a one-house teamwork, than an individual teamwork that now you're coming to work for me, but you're coming together to do this common goal. So there's a challenge, but those are the ways that I try to navigate to try to make it as communal as possible, but still maintaining the director's eye of view.
About sticking to the script, when I'm directing, I usually give actors the leeway to see their emotions, but I usually like, if possible, if they can stick to the script with a few changes, because there's a reason why the script is that way. For like a comical script, if you don't say a particular line, a certain sentence, the comic won't come out. Like for 87th Victim, when James opens the door for the lady, in the first scene, it has to match with the last scene. So if we go off script, we might miss that. But the reactions and everything, when I'm directing, I usually let the actors first show me what they have. And then now I explain to them what I understood from the script. But for a scene like the first scene, where James is with the other two guys, they did lines off script. Where James is going with the lady, someone shouts a certain thing, that was off script. But again, it made sense with the story, because that's how people are. Yeah. So we have both verbatim and non-verbatim scenes.
Dantez, a technical question on that one. Did you shoot both scenes back to back?
Actually, because we shot them in the afternoon, we didn't do them back to back. I was doing 2 short films. So we did that one, and then by the time the actress was changing and all that, while I was changing, we had to do another scene which was being done at the dome, the same dome. Yeah.
For another short film?
Yeah.
Do you guys see how hard our filmmakers work in Kenya? Yeah? Round of applause. Well done, guys. Any other questions? One last question for our panel.
And also, I'm tired of crew and actors not getting paid their worth. I'd rather the script sits on a shelf somewhere collecting dust than work with people and not appreciate them as they're supposed to. Yeah. So I'm working on a feature film personally.
Thank you. And Dantez, if there's any budding actors in the room, they can see you after this,
Yes,
or any investors, or where else can they find you? What's your social media?
Everywhere, Dantez Mwendwa.
Thank you,
So if
Dantez.
you're an actor,
He can audition you today.
I'm among the top casting directors in Kenya.
There you go.
I think I'm in good hands.
Yes, you are, Vaishali.
We've met before. She knows. And if you're an investor, come and
Yes.
give you my pitch.
Yes.
It's on my phone, so I don't need to get
Good.
it ready.
Always ready. Well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Dantez. Round of applause for Dantez. Vaishali, happy Diwali. Thank you for coming in the middle of your celebration.
It's a pleasure. Trust me, this is a lovely crowd and this was a lovely event. I wouldn't miss it. I think for me, you already asked me this question to start with, so I started there. I'm basically been a high school teacher, art and design for 11 years of my life. There's one of my former students plus one of my close friends, and she's like a sister now, so she's come to support me here. And she used to even support me in the UK when she was studying there when I did fashion, because I'm a fashion designer who has my own brand, Vaishali Morjaria Creations. I'm a fine artist who does commissioned pieces. I work for a bag company called Urban Funk. So basically I'm an artist, and then the acting came as God's gift. So then I started with Rashita, I did Makumani, did the short films, Love Daggers, this one, did a bit of Kina, a bit of Morjaria, a bit of everything. Just trying my best in this industry because I am still young in that way. Because Vashita, touchwood, God's grace, that it became a super hit. But that was the only production house I went into and was working in for 2.5 years, through and through. So I had no idea who the other directors were, who other producers were. When people used to meet me, they're like, "We know you," and I'm like, "I'm so sorry, I don't know you." But I didn't know anyone because I was on set 24/7. And I still do that. I still do Jamakamani a little bit. I just did a short film. Can't disclose too much about it, but the director was, I think when I did a short film with him, initially, Gigi, he believed in me. So this time he gave me the role of a casting director, which was great. And it was new to me, so I was nervous, but I think I did a good job. So let's see when that comes out. I guess you guys will give me a better feedback. So I am slowly growing in the industry and still doing my thing, still painting, still doing things, and still trying to see if I can get another sort of long-term project, like a series, or because a movie is quite short. But hopefully like Rashida, or hopefully if you can get back Rashida for more seasons, who knows. So yeah, I've just left it to God, and let's see what life has to bring for me.
Thank you. Maybe our audience should start a petition. Are you teaching?
Sorry.
Teaching?
Yes, I was teaching at Oshel Senior High for 10.5 years, where I was senior management. And then I taught at NIS, Nairobi International School, for 6 months last year and 3 months this year. Only the candidates, the high school A-level candidates. So I do it part-time now because I do more commissioned art pieces, which is quite cool. And I think I'd be teaching full-time had become a comfort zone. And I think when you're young and you still have that zeal, just go and explore and take the risks, And I know this message is from my director. I know he'll appreciate me pointing out. As I say, we're trying to see if, because everyone has been saying we should expand on this short film, the pilot. So we're trying to, again, as you say, look for funding, which is the hardest part, so that we can expand on the storyline and make it a full-fledged movie. So if you know anyone, I would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Vaishali. Round of applause. Thank you, Vaishali.
Thank you again. Thank you also. Let me just start again. My name is Calvin Oyula. I'm more of a cinephile, a passionate filmmaker. I'm not a student of film. I've never studied film professionally. I'm a student of statistics and programming. I'm currently a student at Kenyan University. Film is much more of a passion. Before film, I'm more of a poet, and I channeled my poetry field into filmmaking. So I more entered into film to use it as a platform to explore the visual perspective of the poetry that I feel is inside me. Apart from that, I'm also a freelance teacher, trainer, and director. What I mean by I train schools for drama festivals and music. I'm an award-winning director and Solvers writer 2 years in a row, national. I've trained Nanyuki High School, First Beth Academy, Mount Kenya University. Currently, I'm taking an item with Kwale University for Nationals Cooper Drama Festival. Apart from that, I also publish poetry on Wattpad, which you can find a lot of my works on Wattpad as Calvin Point. Yeah. So also, apart from that, as I've mentioned, there are a lot of challenges as filmmakers that we actually do have. And luckily enough, this month, from 23rd November to 28th of November, a film of mine that I did last year won an award in New York, and I have been invited on a fully funded trip to Portugal.
Congratulations.
For those 5 days. I'm actually just trying to maneuver to find ways to get the visa and everything ready as soon as possible. Once more again, thank you so much. Thank you.
Round of applause for Calvin and to all our panel. Thank you guys. I'll take over from.
Allow me to do this.
Sure.
I usually work with my youngest son. I have two boys. One is 12. The other one is 1 year, 8 months. He's attended all events that I've gone to. He's called Laxen, named the company after him. Yeah, but today for the first time I've left it home. He had a premiere. I came with my son. Yeah, so, but I'm privileged to have the lady who did hair and makeup for 87th Victim. She was also the assistant producer, and she happens to be my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's called Martha Rodigi. And
And she was on set during the love scenes.
Yes.
Well, she needs an award. She needs an award. Someone, that's a question no one wanted to ask. I'll ask those questions.
It's what?
Yeah. Well done. Well done.
So a little bit about why I'm so much into the mental and sexual health. I have several short films I've worked on. I've written them, not yet short. The feature film is a bit different. It's more political. But the short films on mental health and sexual health, it's because I've been there. I've had a great run in the industry, earning good money, being the most sought after group member. And it kind of got into my head and I got into drinking, heavy drinking. It reached a point I sold my house, sold my car so I could support my drinking habits. And during COVID, I even got kicked out of the house I was renting in Morjaria. I lived in the streets for almost 2 weeks, and it kind of messed up my mind. I ended up at Morjaria Mental Hospital for 92 days.
Dude.
And after I came out, drank a little, and then I just decided, by the way, I can do this. I can just stop drinking. Right now, I'm 3 years and some months sober. And when I was in Morjaria, I interacted with actual crazy people because they don't separate you that you are meant for rehab, you are too crazy. No, they place you in the same place. So I interacted with these people and I realized most of the people who are there, it's not because they're, okay, yes, they're mentally ill, but it's because something triggered it. And that's why I'm so passionate about mental health. Yeah.
So thanks for being here. Please subscribe. The movement will bring you more of this kind of stuff as you go. These are unique things that you can actually learn and watch about the country. So please subscribe and join the movement.